and I know Mason disagrees with this. I'm so sick of the Force. I'm sick.
Yeah, I kind of hate lightsabers too.
I don't hate lightsabers.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm sick of the fucking way they keep exploring
the
Force.
Yeah, the thing that made it. Yeah, I hate it.
Oh boy.
That's not the. There's multiple things that made it.
I'm sick of the lack of actual theme, and the theme being the Force. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pacific Standard, guys. My name is Carter Briggs, and with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, Abel Stoika.
Ba weep, grana weep, nitty bong.
And Mason Winter.
Hello.
And today, we are talking about Transformers 86, baby. This will get no views, and that's fine.
People like Transformers.
People like Transformers. Okay.
Carter likes Transformers.
I like Transformers a lot. I like it a lot. I have to say what the story is, right? Because it's my pick.
Yeah, it's your pick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Tell us what happened in this movie.
In this movie, there's a war between the Autobots and the Decepticons, and it's been going on for a while. And the Autobots are pretty established on Earth, right? But the Decepticons, they've taken control of Cybertron, the Transformer home planet,
the motherland.
And the Autobots are planning to invade and take it back. And they have 2 moon bases, and they're sending a shuttle back to Earth to get the rest of the Autobots. But Megatron, he finds out, and he gets on the shuttle, and he kills all the Autobots we know and love. They're all dead, except for Perceptor, Jazz, Cliffjumper, and Bumblebee. Those are the only 4 that survive from G1. He kills all of them, including Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime gives the Matrix of Leadership to Ultra Magnus, but it actually connects to Hot Rod, who is a Hot Rod. He's a wild thing. And then Megatron gets turned into Galvatron by Unicron, who's played by Orson Welles, which is wild.
That's fucking crazy.
And
he died before this movie came out.
Yeah, this is his last role. Is Unicron.
He died 5 days after recording his audio for this movie.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Unicron turns Megatron into Galvatron so that Galvatron will go kill Ultra Magnus and get the Matrix of Leadership. And then chaos ensues, and the new Autobots that are new toys that you should buy, RC, Springer, Ultra Magnus, Hot Rod, Cup, and still the Dinobots, because we love the Dinobots. They go on a... Oh, and Blur and Wheelie. Forgot about Blur and Wheelie. They go on an adventure across a bunch of planets to stop Unicron, and then they do.
Yeah, Carter, how many times have you seen this before this?
Before this, I'd seen it twice. Once as a kid, and then I revisited, I think, freshman year of college.
Huh.
This is a very 80s movie, and an even more 80s soundtrack.
Every single song is power rock. Like, no matter what's happening.
It doesn't fit at all, and it really makes you appreciate orchestral scores. There are situations in this where the song, you're like, this is very upbeat for what's happening. There's a planet being eaten.
There's a lot of deaths.
Yeah. Oh, tons of death. There were... this was like... So this was a transition. This was in between, like... I think there were 2 seasons of Transformers after this. Like, of the original cartoon. And this was because all the kids had gotten all the toys. And so they killed off all the old characters, and they introduced a bunch of new ones. Right? Except for, like, the more expensive ones that kids hadn't gotten yet. Like the Dinobots and the Aerial Bots don't show up in this. There's a lot that don't show up in this so that they can use them later, I think.
That's funny. That's really, really cynical, honestly.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's a toy advertisement. That's why we put toy advertisement on the thing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of cartoons that are just ads for toys.
Like the Bionicle movies.
And when we were kids, there were cartoons that were canceled because they weren't selling enough toys, like Generator Rex and Young Justice.
I forgot about those. I remember seeing ads for, like, the game for Generator Rex, I think, in, like, the Nintendo Power magazine.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I watched Michael Bay Transformers movies, and those
were worse trailers for worse toys.
Those are
You know what? Michael Bay Transformers. Peter Cullen is my Optimus Prime. Oh wait, he's him forever
it's the same guy.
and always will be.
Yeah. He didn't like the Michael Bay Transformers because the lines he had to read, he was like, this is an Optimus. This is like a sociopath.
I'll kill you all! Does he say something like that?
He says, give me your face when he cuts the Fallen's face off in the second one.
What a fucking weird series.
Do you know his most famous quote, Optimus Prime? Actually, I'll save it for... He doesn't say it in this movie, actually. His most famous quote is, freedom is the right of all sentient beings. And Michael Bay heard that and was like, what if he cut off the Fallen's face?
I mean, that was the one that they wrote, or they filmed before they had a script.
Right, but he's like that. He's like that in all of those movies.
Yeah. He's like that in the third one when he just shoots Megatron in the face at the end of the movie. Or is it, I don't know, either Sentinel Prime or Megatron, he just shoots their head off. This is a movie for 5-year-olds, and it's just brutal.
Just an execution style fucking pop.
And like, they're bad, but I love those movies. And I watched the new one, Rise of the Beasts. It's just boring.
It is.
That one is such a disappointment. Not that I like expected them to do Michael Bay stuff in it. It was exactly what I would expect a movie directed by Hasbro to be. But we're not talking about that movie. We're talking about Transformers, the movie.
Yup.
And I think it definitely suffered because it was essentially like a extended, like special, like event episode of the show, where I am not familiar with practically any of these characters from like before, because I don't know, like, especially not these renditions of those characters. Like, I know Optimus Prime just in general from media. I kind of know Bumblebee from the Transformers movies, but the live action Transformers movies have less personality and like traits than their 80s cartoons.
Than the 80s toy commercial cartoon counterparts?
Yeah.
Yes. 1000% yes.
The movies that are trying to sell themselves as, we're not just a commercial for toys, we are now just a movie franchise. These are just good movies. Come see the movies, and you watch the movies, and I'm like, wow. Shia LaBeouf's mom is eating weed brownies on a college campus. And the dog is fucking the other dog.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was okay. It was fine. It was good. Like, I didn't feel like I knew a whole lot about a lot of the characters, because there's a lot of characters in this movie that have, a couple seasons worth of backstory. And, like, it is a children's cartoon, but, like, I'm like, why is there a human child here? I don't understand why there's a human child here. It didn't seem like they went to Earth very much in this movie.
Or, well, I was about to say...
They started on Earth. That's where Autobot City is on Earth.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Autobot City is on Earth. That's why Ironhide and Ratchet were going to Earth to get the rest of the Autobots to come back to Cybertron.
And the kid is a Witwicky.
Yeah.
And the dude.
He's the son of Spike Witwicky. Him and his dad were the first people to meet the Autobots.
I just thought Sam Witwicky in the Transformers movies was a character invented for those movies, and that was just a name that they chose. I did not realize it was the family in the original series, because they're not canon to each other, are they?
No,
not by a long shot.
How
many different Transformers canons are there?
A lot. This is Generation 1. This is the first thing. I'm going to be so nerdy right now. Prepare yourself.
Do it. Nerd out. I want to hear it.
Here's the major difference. In the first one, there's a lot more Transformers, right? There's a lot more Autobots. They were escaping their home planet of Cybertron because it was dying and they were losing the war with the Decepticons. They escaped on the Ark, but the Decepticons got on the Ark and they crash on Earth billions of years ago, right? And they all basically die. And they're all on the Ark and they basically die. And this, a mountain forms over the Ark. That's how long ago they left Cybertron. The other thing is
Okay.
they can't, in the movies, they can just like pick what they transform into and scan it. In the original show, they are reassembled by the ship in like the 80s. The 80s comes and there's like an
Okay.
earthquake that makes the ship start running again. And the ship scans all the vehicles outside in the world and like reassembles them to be able to transform into those vehicles.
And he was like, you know what, Soundwave, you're going to be a cassette player.
Yeah, you're a cassette player, and all your little minions are cassette players, and it's the coolest thing. And you have the coolest voice and the coolest design.
At least he's not a fucking satellite.
No, they. Ugh. No, but that's the thing. I think that's the thing I like least about the Michael Bay movies is that they refuse to be silly, right? Like a
They're
transformer
only
that
silly
turns-
to an extent.
Yes. A transformer that turns into a cassette player and has little cassette minions, that's silly. But it's also kind of fucking awesome. When you're a kid, that's sick. A guy with a bunch of
Yeah.
little minions, that's fun.
I thought it was really funny in this movie when Soundwave comes out and then there's a sequence where they show all 4 of the minions fly out as mini cassette player like tapes, and then you go to the Autobots and they have one who just does the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's Blaster.
It's like they were totally sold as like equivalents and you got to buy both of them or whatever, just pick a side or whatever. And when
Actually,
you're watching the movie, there's like, it's so funny how they have this shot where they show all 4 individually. Like a normal movie would just have the 4 minions come out. They wouldn't be like, let's differentiate these a little bit. Show all the different colors, get all the kids excited to buy all of them or whatever. I just thought that was interesting.
actually, Blaster was introduced in this movie because they wanted an Autobot Soundwave.
Oh, okay.
Because he's really popular, so they did an Autobot Soundwave, who's kind of like Jazz in his personality, where he loves human music, and he's an 80s hip happening dude. They just kind of made Jazz, but if he was a boombox.
Gotcha.
So
Mason, do you have much Transformers knowledge to your name?
No, I mean I grew up with the Michael Bay movies. So
What's your favorite
not really.
Michael Bay movie, Transformers movie?
I can't recall watching past probably this. I've either seen 2 of them or 3 of them.
There's the first 3. The first one is the first one with Megan Fox. The second one is the one in
I revisited the first
Egypt.
one like a month ago, and I actually loved rewatching it.
Really? I tried to rewatch it with my friend who also loves it, and we were both really, really, really bored.
I'm a human garbage can, so I loved it.
The second one is so hilariously bad, and then the third one is the one where they have like the last half of the movie is just
just
the
blowing shit
destruction
up.
of Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that might be the best one. I like how when they show Unicron eating the planet at the beginning, that they use that chomp sound effect. Did you guys notice the chomp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that definitely wasn't like commonly used enough in the 80s. Every like YouTube animation I saw as a kid, everything had that chomp in it. It's like in Breaking Bad when you start to notice that they use the same door squeak sound effect every time someone goes into a room.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible. It ruins the whole thing.
It ruins the whole thing.
Dude, Breaking Bad is a bad show. I can't even watch it because they use the same door squeak.
They use the same doors. This guy.
No, I'm joking.
This fucking guy.
There was a Transformer fishing at the beginning.
Yeah. That's Hot Rod. He's having fun.
It's pretty cool. I liked the Insecticons. Those were cool.
If you heard them talk, you would not think they were cool. They're a cool idea, but they are super annoying when they talk.
Do they talk like Blur?
Blur's
No.
awesome.
Yeah. Say another bad word about Blur, motherfucker.
I didn't. I was asking a question. I
They
was
don't
begging
talk-
a question.
They don't talk like Blur. They talk like 80s. They talk like 80s villains.
I can't remember the context, but somebody said you full of cesium salami.
Oh, the Dinobots are arguing with each other. Grimlock is arguing with Slag, who's the Triceratops.
Do you know sometimes? This is no knock. I thought the animation was really good, and I'll get into that. You know those memes you see sometimes where it's just a bunch of incongruous shapes, and as you start to focus on the image, you can't actually make out anything. It's just a jumble of...
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Like
25% of this movie felt like that sometimes, where I was like, what am I looking at on the screen? Where it was just like an amalgamation of shapes and colors. And I was overwhelmed at times.
They got that power rock going through.
They don't do it in the movie, but in the cartoon, I don't know if you guys have watched cartoons from this era, but in the cartoon there's this thing where it'll be like a scene, they'll have like a background, right? And you can tell when like a boulder is going to fall or like the ground's going to give because that boulder or that piece of ground is a different color from the rest of the background. Like it's clearly like outlined and ready to be animated as opposed to the static background that they've painted, you know? So in the cartoon, there's a lot of boulders that fall on the Autobots. I don't know why. And you can always tell the second the scene starts. You're like, oh no, Optimus, look out. That's a falling boulder. Hey.
Boulder is red.
That boulder's a slightly different shade of fucking brown, but you can definitely tell that it's a slightly different shade of brown.
Fuck the Decepticons. These different colored boulders are your biggest rival.
They are the biggest op of the Autobots. Often the Decepticons are the one pushing the different colored rock, but
oh, fair.
you know what I mean.
The boulder has responsibility for its own actions at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the Decepticon day, the Cybertronian day. How long is a Cybertronian day, Carter? Do you know?
I have no fucking... As long as it takes for it to rotate around the Cybertronian sun. Or to spin.
That's
a year. That's a year. That's a year. Going around the sun is a year. I don't know.
I guess he's just a fake fan, Mason.
Yeah, that's true.
You can just kind of disregard everything he says.
I mean, that is true.
I mean, I couldn't say that about Bionicle. They have multiple planets as well. How long is a day on the Bionicle or the Cybertron? On the Cybertron. There's an article on the Transformers Wiki called Units of Time.
Oh, no. No. No.
Beast Wars has a solar cycle of 20 hours.
Beast Wars is set on Earth.
Somebody is mistaken then.
Beast Wars is set literally on Earth. That's why they're beasts.
In the Gen 1 UK comics, it was about 12 hours. In the 2019 IDW continuity, it's about 24.
So stupid. I don't really have many thoughts on this. I thought it was mostly good. It's very of the time. The soundtrack is fun, but not a good movie soundtrack, if that makes sense.
It's a unique choice.
Yeah, but it's a cartoon.
Appreciate their bravery.
Yes. No, that's what I'm saying. This is a weird movie because for a lot of people, myself included, when I watched this the first time as a kid, you are like, oh my god, all my favorite characters are dead. Rest in peace, Wheeljack. That is my favorite character.
That's where Hasbro realized they fucked up.
What?
Well, they ordered the killing of a bunch of characters, and then they realized that all these kids were crying and mailing them letters how upset they were that Optimus was gone, so they had to revive Optimus.
They did. They brought Optimus back, so now there's two Primes, Rodimus Prime and Optimus Prime. Also, I think Transformers is great at designing characters. I think they used to be. I don't think they are anymore. When Hot Rod turns into Rodimus Prime, his vehicle mode is disgusting and terrible.
I can't even recall what that looked like.
It's a fucking Hot Rod with like a truck bed, with like a trailer.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now. It is bizarre. It looks like a Yeah, it looks like exactly what you just said. I don't know what I was going to say.
I don't know what I was expecting.
That is precisely it.
It's like a camper. It looks like a camper.
Yeah.
No, but you touched on the score, and I thought it was okay. And then I thought the plot overall was kind of interesting. Like it's not unheard of for there to be a predatory, like all-consuming planet roaming the universe.
It's Galactus.
But I thought it was cool, and I thought for the 80s, the voice acting was good, but all the animation I thought was really good. And then I just read about it a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Toei Animation. Toei does two of the biggest animes of all time, One Piece and Dragon Ball. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It was overseen by them, and they insisted on like extra layers of shading and coloring to make the Transformers more detailed.
And you can see it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Is there a jump in quality from the cartoons to this?
Oh. Abel.
I have not seen the cartoons at all.
Abel, the cartoons look like dog shit. Let's be so fucking for real with each other right now. I love them. There's a lot of nostalgia in them for me. They really humanize these toys for kids to play with. The cartoon looks like it's like 2 frames a second, I swear to God. It's basically right now a moving comic. It's terrible.
Oh, I'm looking at some stills right here. Yeah, this is totally different.
Yeah. Oh, I think you know what else I think this introduced?
What?
This introduced the first Autobot triple changer also.
The what?
So, most Transformers can only turn into one thing, right?
Yeah.
But some Transformers can turn into 2 things. Like the green guy, Springer, he can turn into a car and a helicopter. And then there's a Decepticon called Astrotrain and a Decepticon called Blitzwing. And Blitzwing is a tank and a jet, and Astrotrain is a train and a rocket ship. And he's the one that they're all in when they fight.
That combo got me for some reason.
It's
the first
good,
one
right?
was cool and made sense, but then a train and a rocket. You know what? I would venture to say that might be Hitler's favorite Transformer.
Astrid, you be right. It sounds correct.
Decepticon, who is also a train and a rocket. That's Third Reich.
A robot fascist who's a train and a rocket ship is, yeah.
He could do anything Hitler wanted.
Yes. Go into space, be a train.
Be a missile. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Nobody let Hitler know about triple changers.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Nobody let him know about him. Okay? It's bad news.
Something really bad's going to happen if that guy hears about triple changers.
Yeah, it will. It's going to be not good.
The 27 Club claims another. Oh, did you see Kanye's not anti-Semitic anymore?
Oh, really?
Again?
Yeah, he FaceTimed with his kids and he said he's not anti-Semitic anymore.
That's the quote?
Are his kids Jewish?
No, I guess he was just tweaking because he hadn't talked to his kids, but he's like, I'm good now. I talk to my kids, guys. I
haven't talked to my kids
anymore.
in years, and I've just been anti-Semitic ever since. Because I remember that first time he said that he's not anti-Semitic anymore because he watched 21 Jump Street and thought Jonah Hill was great in it.
I think that was comedic. For sure.
Well, you never know. I honestly don't know.
It made me laugh. It was a good one.
Oh my god.
But like the joke is that I'm joking about not being a Nazi anymore. So he's
he
like,
could be
actually,
serious.
I think if he's joking about not being a Nazi, I think he's being serious about being a Nazi, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd imagine so.
I've just chosen not to keep up with it anymore.
This just in, folks. Pacific Standard Guys exclusive. Kanye West is a Nazi.
Exclusive. Pacific Standard Guys exclusive. Kanye West. Not worth your time anymore.
No. Or
Just
ever.
stop. It's
to
okay.
be fair.
I don't think the music's very good anymore, guys. It's not worth it.
Was it ever worth it?
It was worth it when there was no trade-off.
Before he was a Nazi, you're saying? Before.
Yeah.
On the meds, Kanye was worth it. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I guess so. He made Graduation.
No, don't be that. Please.
It's a good album. That's all I'm saying. Anyways,
All right.
I thought it was so funny that Optimus Prime is such a great guy and a great leader that when he says Megatron must be stopped at all costs and he's heading into battle, he drives at a pretty safe speed and drives on one lane of the road. Just seems a little bit more urgent that you might not be perfectly in your lane and might go a little fast.
Does he drive at a safe speed? Because he runs over a lot of Decepticons.
It looks like a safe speed in the shot immediately after he says he must be stopped at all costs. It doesn't look particularly fast.
Okay. I kind of said, my whole thought about this movie is that the soundtrack is fun, but not, like, it doesn't fit, especially for how many, like, of your childhood favorite characters are gunned down mercilessly. And it's really well animated, especially for the time. And it's fun. Those are all my thoughts on this movie.
Yeah, should we do quotes?
Let's go into quotes then, man. Mason, you want to go first?
Yeah, so Prime is dying and is dead, and Hot Rod goes, "Aw, dude, forgive me." So that was my favorite quote.
Oh, classic Rodimus.
That's good stuff. Abel, you got a quote?
Yeah, it was a toss-up. I just thought it was funny that they had the narrator say ominously at the beginning, "It is the year 2005," which is just such an innocuous year now that it's, 2025.
Little did they know
that time.
The impending housing crisis.
Yeah, little did they know that if they said 2008, everyone would be like, "Oh boy, this sucks."
It is the year 2020.
Ugh.
My actual favorite quote is when I can't remember who it is. I think it was Hot Rod. They're in the kangaroo court, and they go, "Stay silent, or you will be held in contempt of this court." And he goes, "I have nothing but contempt for this court."
Yeah.
As a child, you probably have no idea what that means. That would probably just go over my head. I'm just like, I don't know what that line means, whatever. As an adult, I'm like, this is the most low-hanging fruit thing you could say in a court scene. It's like so simple that an adult wouldn't think it was a good line, but so not in a kid's wheelhouse that it just felt kind of out of place.
Yeah.
But what about you, Carter? What's your fave zinger?
I think my favorite dialogue sequence is when they are with the Junkticons, and the Junkticons are like, "We talk TV." And then Cub's like, "I talk a little TV," and he just says a news quote. He just says a news thing. Like they speak in TV quotes, but they don't really because they say other words. But I think it would have been more fun if they spoke entirely in TV and movie quotes.
Like Bumblebee in the Transformers, Michael Bay.
No,
movies.
no, not like that. No, not like that. And also not your main character. These weird Junkticon guys who put Ultra Magnus back together. Not a very quotable movie. Now we rate it. This is one we don't have much to say about. It's just a cartoon from the 80s. It's mostly fun.
Yeah. I guess I can... No, Mason goes first. I've decided
Mason, go first.
I thought despite it upsetting children initially, I think overall it's a pretty good plot. I think the animation is very high quality for the 80s. I think the soundtrack, also weird, is still pretty fun. And I'd give it 7.
7, okay. I think I enjoyed watching this movie. However, it would definitely have been enhanced if I was prior familiar to the TV show and the character development through that. But as I've heard about the TV show, it doesn't seem like exactly the type of thing that I would get into. So I'm not doing that. I'm choosing not to do that. I do give it credit for making children cry and having them vicariously experience the death of a loved one at a tender age. That's funny that it did that. I think I'll give it a 5.
5.
It's fine. It was fine. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna remember a lot about it in like a month.
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give this a 7 because it's fun. It's got a good plot. It introduces Unicron, who then becomes it's him and Primus are these dual god figures in the Transformers universe. Bet you guys can't guess what Primus is.
It's a band.
No, it's Cybertron. Cybertron
That's one of
is
the zombie
Primus.
storylines.
Oh no.
We have Primus and we have Ultimus, and that's where they diverge.
Oh no.
Hold on, where's this? I was looking for a little. There was an excerpt about what's his name? Orson Welles. Yeah. Shortly before his death, he was asked. He was being interviewed, and he said, "You know what I did this morning? I played the voice of a toy. I play a planet. I menace somebody called something or other, then I'm destroyed. My plan is to destroy whoever it is, thwarted, and I tear myself apart on the screen." And I was like, I think he enjoyed doing that. This is his last thing.
It's a bummer you didn't get to see it in its final form.
True, but how often does that happen because of how long post-process takes?
Yeah, fair.
Especially with all if it's a big company.
It's an animated movie. It takes forever because they have to animate everything
it
afterwards. Yeah, that's you got to go first.
I mean, sort of. The animation companies in Japan are crazy. There's companies turning over fresh episodes every week.
That's insane, though.
Up. It's like South Park, except South Park is, I think, much easier to animate.
Than crazy fight scenes? Yeah.
Yeah. They have a template for it. They could probably create a fucking algorithm that does it for them.
Probably.
I haven't seen South Park in a minute.
Yeah, it hasn't been good in a minute. Sorry, South Park
Roasted.
Catching Strays. South Park Catching Strays.
Burn!
Got South Park.
Wait, hold on. What was it? It was... I feel like there was a third. So you got Kanye, you got South Park on this one. You got... Who else did you get? I thought there was another. Oh, Transformers.
Yeah.
What?
When I made the original show, I made fun of the animation in the original show.
Oh.
I meant more the Michael Bay.
Oh, yeah. Also that.
You guys had choice words about the Michael Bay ones.
Yeah, they're not very good. What the fuck is going on? What's up?
What the fuck is going on, Carter?
I have a lot, so maybe you two should go first. I have quite a few things.
Okay. I watched Fruitvale Station, Ryan Coogler's first movie. His first collaboration with Michael B. Jordan and Ludwig Göransson, who are two people that have been involved in every single movie that he's ever directed, which is pretty awesome that he made connections with this movie or maybe before it, and he's sticking to them. I really like when directors do that. James Gunn does it a lot. True story of Oscar Grant, who lives in Oakland, who got shot by police in a metro transit station on New Year's Day. And it's just a movie documenting his life throughout the day leading up to it and just kind of painting him as a normal guy that you might run into just on the street, or just he starts just talking to a random person at a supermarket and helping them with a recipe. It's just interesting to see that. And then at the end it gets really intense and everything. And I thought it was really, really powerful. I would give it a 9. I think it's my personal favorite of the movies that I've seen from Ryan Coogler, except for maybe Sinners. Sinners is pretty awesome. I don't know. I thought it was great. I would highly recommend. It's pretty intense, but it's really powerful, short watch. So I saw that, and then I rewatched Mission Impossible Rogue Nation because it's the one that I remember the least about. And I rewatched it, and I could see why. It's definitely the most forgettable of the bunch, besides maybe 2, but that one was just bad. This one it's still a solid Mission Impossible movie. I know, Mason, you probably haven't seen it, but Carter, have you seen it, the 5th one?
Which one is the 5th one?
Rogue Nation. It's the first one with Rebecca Ferguson.
I
Sean
think I've
Harris
seen.
is the bad
I actually
guy.
don't think I've seen Rogue Nation.
I would put it like above 2. I would probably have put it above the first one. 3's better, 4's better, 6 and 7 are all better. And I will probably go see the new one either before or next episode or the one after. I'm excited. Gotta catch it on like an IMAX screen. I've been watching this TV show called Beyond Vaudeville. It's incredibly bizarre. It's from the 80s. It's a public access talk show, which sounds so boring. And it's totally not. It's fucking hilarious. It's these 2 guys who are both playing characters. The main guy's a talk show host, and he's horrible at it. He's stuttering and mumbling over his words. He's not confident or charismatic, like, at all. And then he's got his co-host on the couch. And every single episode, he is just, like, containing rage towards the main guy. Like, he just hates him. Like, furiously hates him. So, like, he has to hold back just his anger the whole episode, and then little things will happen, and he'll just get up and start, like, threatening people. And then they have their guests on who are, for the most part, I think, real people who have no idea that they're playing characters and just think they're on a weird talk show. And it's kind of like a predecessor to, like, the Eric Andre show in a way. I don't know if it was that big, but all the episodes are on YouTube, published by the main guy who was on it, 40 years later. And if you're bored looking for some entertainment, you can just click a random one. Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch if it sounds interesting to you. How about you, Mason? What you been up to?
Not much. I would say one of them is a Netflix show. Tom Segura's sketch show Bad Thoughts came out on Netflix. I haven't finished it. I've watched the first 3 episodes, but it's very funny. Very dark. So yeah, if you don't like dark humor, I wouldn't recommend it.
Hate it.
For an example, like the first sketch is he's a hitman and he accidentally shoots the wrong person and then shits his pants and has to solve the problem of shit down his legs.
Okay, that sounds kind of funny.
So that's kind of what you can expect.
Like kind of crass.
Yeah. But most of Tom is known for having a very dark sense of humor. So that's why when it was called Bad Thoughts and I saw the trailer, I was like, this is very much his lane and his sense of humor.
Cool, that's good.
But there's a few people, Johnny Pemberton, if you know him, he's in the Fallout show. He plays that guy who accidentally gets turned into a ghoul. He's in it. Kirk Fox is another comedian. Robert Eiler came out of acting retirement for it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He stopped acting for like 15 years, but his podcast is under Tom's network. And I think Tom asked him, he was like, do you want to be in it? And he was like, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's a very like light way to get back into it. Like, or just dip your toes into it, see if you want to come back at all. I bet that was fun for him.
Yeah, each episode I think is like 28 minutes or something, and each episode has like 3 skits in it, so it's very digestible if you just want to turn it on and turn it off. I wasn't going to say anything about it because I was like, Mason, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But this Last of Us episode, what the fuck?
Don't tell me. I'm not caught up yet. I've seen one episode so far. I think I've
I
just
mean-
watched the fourth.
Well, okay, the most recent one though, I can say anything without spoiling.
Okay.
I didn't need a fucking behind the scenes episode. I wanted to further develop the plot, but that's all I'll say.
It's fucked up.
The whole episode was just flashbacks. So
Oh, okay.
there was nothing containing what's actually going on at the current present moment with the characters. So that's why I was like, why?
They do that in like every show, I feel like. There's just like one episode that's just the flashback episode. And it's always like I don't want to do this, but then the next episode comes around and you're like, okay, that was important. That meant something. Sometimes it doesn't, though. That pisses me off.
I was just going to say Mason's F1 corner real quick.
Do it.
Last week was there's two races basically that happen in
Is it Miami?
No. In Italy. There's two races that happen in Italy. One is Monza and one is Imola. And we just had, I believe, Imola. Yeah, it was Imola.
Okay.
But anyway, Max won it. Max Verstappen. To be, no, not my boy. Don't you dare say my boy. That is not my boy. He's the winner of the past 4 years. And I want my boy Lando to pull through this year. Max won, Lando was second, and then Lando's teammate at McLaren was third. So McLaren at least had both cars on the podium, even though Max pulled out that win. Now, as the point stands, top three, Oscar has 146 points, Lando 133, and Max 124. So it's still very close. Like they're within 20 points, all three of each other. And
Okay.
we're like 6 or 7 races in at this point.
So there's
So
two.
It's an entertaining season.
There's 2 racers per team,
Yeah.
right? So then, how often is it that both of them are like placing top 3?
Normally, if the car is good enough to be performing at the top, normally both drivers are there. It's been a notorious problem for Red Bull the past 2 years that Max seems to always outperform the car, even if it's very bad. And meanwhile, his teammate struggles.
Oh, okay.
So that's why there's 2 trophies at the end of the year. The Drivers' Championship is the single person with the most points. And then the Constructors is to the team with the most points. And last year, Max won the Drivers' Championship because he by far had the most points. But McLaren beat Red Bull for the Constructors because both of their drivers were doing well.
And are those usually the same people, or is it like 50?
Yeah, normally for the most part, if you're winning the drivers, you're probably going to win the Constructors. But Max is just a different animal, and he can outperform the car to ridiculous extents.
And then when does this all wrap up?
It varies whether it's a week break or a 2-week break sometimes, but I would say generally it's usually every other week. And then there's it's either a month or a 2-month break during the summer. And then the season resumes. And then over the winter, like December and January, they have off. But other than that, it's pretty much year round.
So is there like a final championship race?
There is a final race, but sometimes if the point discrepancy is large enough, the winner is declared like 5 races or 3 races before the end of the season.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh yeah, Max won. I forgot how many races Max had from the end of the season when he won at his most dominant. It was either last year or the year before, where Max was just, how many races was it? Red Bull won all but, I think, 2 of the races. And I think Max's teammate only won one of those ones. So Max won like 20-something races that year out of like 24. And it was just bonkers.
I could see why American sports don't do it like that, where the points in the regular season don't. Like that just affects your seeding in the playoffs. because that makes it much more of like an exciting moment at the end, where like anything could happen. Whereas you just perform well in the regular season enough. Are you familiar with NASCAR at all, Mason, or do you just really only care about?
I've seen a little bit of NASCAR, but it hasn't like.
It's not as gripping.
No, not to me.
Or 10, it's NASCAR. You turn left for 400 laps. Which car?
No,
can
I've
turn
heard
left?
people who I like talk about being there in person and talking about how it's a different experience. And I'm sure it's like there's parts of it that are great, but it just hasn't gripped me.
Is that it, Mason? Is that all that's happening?
Pretty much. I was gonna say the in the season that Max was most dominant, 2023, he won 19 races, which was a new record. He secured 575 points out of a possible 620, which was bonkers. And he secured the win in October when he won the championship in October and the season ended in December.
But they still do all the other races, right?
Yeah.
Does he compete?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
He didn't have to, technically, from a technical point perspective, he didn't have to, but that doesn't happen.
That's not how they do things.
Because he was also breaking records. Like, he broke so many records that season. It was just ridiculous. But everyone still competes because all of those, I forgot how much each, it's something like $500,000 is basically what they equate it to. Every place on the grid is worth 10 teams. So you can place from 10th to 1st. Every place is basically like almost another $500K in potential sponsorship deals. So even the lower teams are fighting really intensely for those few points that they have.
Oh.
And it makes it really interesting for those bottom teams who don't have a lot of points. Because if something wild happens and one of their drivers scores a lot, it can cause them to shoot up like 3 places. And that's a really big deal for that team.
Huh.
So that's where like it's fun to watch the championship battle, but there also can be interesting battles happening throughout the midfield and even the kind of the back of the pack.
Because how many teams are there?
There's 10 teams with 2 drivers each, so 20 drivers.
Okay. In my head, it was like way bigger.
No. That's why it's like top of the... It's been largely considered the pinnacle of motorsport for like years because there's only 20 dudes who do it at one time.
Okay.
Well, yeah. If that's it, I think Carter has a lot he wants to...
Yeah, take the floor.
I really got 2 things. I didn't realize everybody had so much this week. This is a long segment this week, but that's fine.
It was a short review, so...
Yep. I finished Andor.
No spoilers, please.
No, son of a bitch! Abel
didn't watch Andor, didn't watch Last of Us.
Like...
Dude, I'm busy.
You know what I didn't say when you guys started talking about Last of Us? Is no spoilers, because it's too late, man. It's too late.
It's too late, dude?
It's too late.
Fine. Spoil it. Ruin it for me.
I'm not gonna. It's fine. Whatever, man.
I was bluffing.
I don't even fucking care anymore, bro. I don't even fucking... Whatever, man. Whatever. Best Star Wars thing. It's the best Star Wars thing. Is
it better than season
now.
1?
No. But here's why, is because they put 5 seasons into 2 seasons, and the fact that it's still great is insane. Yeah, it ends on a really high note. It basically leads directly into Rogue One. I think I get why they chose not to do it, because Diego Luna and the showrunner, what's his name?
Tony Gilroy?
Yes, Tony Gilroy. They both would have aged out of their respective roles for Andor, because it would have taken about a decade to finish all 5 of those seasons,
Yeah.
But I just wish that didn't matter, because it's so good, and I'm so sad that this is done, and that we're going to go back to regular fucking Star Wars.
Ahsoka season 2, baby.
No, I'm not going to watch it.
I still haven't seen the first one. I don't care.
Neither have I. I'm not watching it. And if the new Star Wars movie comes out and the reviews are mid, I'm not going to go fucking see that either. I'm done. I've made a decision. I don't actually give a shit about this. Like, I don't care. If it's good, I'm going to watch it. I've been talking about Andor for fucking weeks on this podcast, and it's great. It's fucking great. So if they keep making great things that have a lot to do with the modern day, and like they actually have a point to them, instead of just what if a Skywalker again, then I'm going to watch the shit out of it. But I know Mason disagrees with this. I'm so sick of the Force. I'm sick of it. I'm done. I'm sick of exploring it.
I kind of hate lightsabers too.
I don't hate lightsabers.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm sick of the fucking way they keep exploring the Force.
Yeah, the thing that made it. Yeah, I hate it.
Oh boy.
That's not there's multiple things that made it.
I'm sick of the weird fucking... I'm sick of the lack of actual theme, and the theme being the Force.
I'm sick of the fucking fan service.
Yes.
That's what Andor is great, because they sprinkle it in there when it makes sense, and it doesn't feel like a stretch. I mean, I don't know what they do in season 2. I think I've heard things that there's more characters that make appearances and stuff, but at least in season 1, when they have like Mon Mothma showing up, she's like an actual person in this show.
She's a character.
She's a side character in it, but she has more fucking character development than fucking Boba Fett does in the Boba Fett show.
You know what? I'm not sick of the Force. I think we've done the Sith Jedi thing. I think, like, unless they can do it in a new, interesting way that isn't, what if a father figure didn't like his son, or vice versa, then great. But they haven't done it, so maybe stick to, like, fucking ground level, grimy, fucking what an actual rebellion or something is. Like, the reason I like the first season of Mandalorian is because it was just, what if there was a fucking cowboy and Star Wars?
Yeah.
And then they were like...
first season is so fun.
It's fun. And then they were like, Darksaber, Destiny, here's a CGI Luke face.
Fan service for all the 10-year-olds who love Rebels.
Ugh.
You know what? I'm sick of being strongly opinionated on Star Wars.
I am too. I think that's my point. I think unless it's great, I'm just not going to see it because I don't care enough. Because I don't want to every time... I cannot say that I like Star Wars. The last set I was on, this is real, I said I like Star Wars, and the guy was like, the sequels and the prequels, but... And it just started this conversation that I'm so bored with, which is like, which is better, the sequels or the prequels? And I'm like, they're both bad in parts, and they're both good in parts. And why does it matter? Can we please, just please, ugh. Anyway, Andor's great. It's a fucking great show. It really showcases a lot about, like, actual rebellion and, like, the rise of fascism. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is just like now. Tony Gilroy did not base anything in the show off of what's happening now. He based it historically off of the rise of fascist governments. So
that's sick.
So, like, if it's similar to now, maybe we should start doing some self-reflection, folks. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Andor's great. I can't spoil anything. I don't have time
for that. I need to watch Ahsoka season 2.
No, you don't. Just don't do it.
I gotta watch The Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters.
Nope. That's one I won't be seeing. I'm putting my foot down. What else? Oh, I finished listening, because I did the audiobook. I finished the audiobook of Dune. And I know Mason does not like my take on this. I thought it was okay. I thought it was an okay book.
Mason, did you hear that?
Yeah, I don't really know much about Dune.
Mason hasn't read them yet. Don't spoil it.
Mason knows a lot about Dune, and he's very opinionated about it, and that's fine. And I agree with all his opinions.
I'm like, we had a discussion off podcast, and we reached a consensus. You don't like Dune, I like Dune, and I got tired of arguing about it. So that's where we stand.
I'm not arguing.
I know. We did off pod.
I don't. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm going to say my opinions on the Dune book. Mason has said his opinions. Here's my opinions on it. I think it's a great piece of world building. I think Frank Herbert was a great world builder. I don't think he was a very good writer in terms of dialogue or character development, or especially having women who are characters and not just existing to be the sex objects of their husbands. Other than Jessica, but also still, because all Jessica talks about is marriage and Paul and Leto. She doesn't really do anything for Jessica in this first book, at least. I don't know. The dialogue was really fucking boring. Everybody kind of talks the same. There's not really like the books that I really like, you could tell which character is talking, and they don't have to say said blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
You can tell who's speaking because everybody has a voice. In Dune, they really don't. Everybody kind of uses the same patterns of speaking.
Monotone.
Basically. But yeah, that's it. I finished Dune and I watched Andor, and Andor was great, and Dune was mid. There we go. Are we spinning or do we have a planned thing?
We are spinning.
Okay.
It's
and I think
spin.
It's Mason's spin. Let's do it.
Okay, Mason, you ready to spin?
Yep.
All right, tell me when.
Go.
It's going.
No, we can't do two in a row.
Well, here's the thing about the wheel is that we can, because we're all individually spinning it.
No.
I don't know what Mason would pick.
Mason, what do you got?
Fucking Toy Story, dude. I don't know. I didn't watch movies
For toys.
Like, I literally tried to think at the beginning of this podcast, what movies were made to sell toys besides Transformers. And I was like, the only toys I had growing up were like Halo and like Star Wars.
I guess we're watching
those were
Transformers
necessarily
2007.
Oh, God.
Should we respin?
Yeah,
Yes.
respin it.
First really sad movie? Yeah.
Wait, what?
Why does that say first really sad?
Like the first movie that you saw that was really, really sad.
We have a section of the wheel that's 3 movies in total.
What?
This can only be picked 3 times, this section. Because it's the first really sad movie you saw. There's only 3 of us.
I guess so. We can figure it out. It's fine.
I guess what? Yeah, Marley and Me? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that your pick, Mason?
I guess. I can't think of anything else.
All right, sad movie.
I would love to pick something else. I literally can't think of anything.
Did you ever watch Fox and the Hound?
Yeah, we can watch that.
I'm
I'd
just-
rather watch that.
No,
I think
no,
Mason-
but then-
I think
Oh,
Mason
No, I liked
picked.
Fox and the Hound. We can watch Fox and the Hound.
no, we're watching Marley and Me. You picked it. I picked Fox and the Hound.
Okay, we're watching Marley and Me, I guess.
Fucking Marley and Me. All right, we're watching Marley and Me. Do we have any emails or anything?
No.
All right, I think that's the episode then, guys.
Yeah, I think that's the episode. Follow us on everything and tell us everything.
Yeah, fucking yeah.
Go Timberwolves.
Bye.
See ya.
Take care, everybody.